together as one force. God, please bless all those who, through their labor, made this day possible. And we also ask your blessing on those who will be involved in the future operations of this facility. May this place be one that exemplifies service, strength, and wisdom for our joint warfighters. And may your presence continue to be with us in all that we do. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Santos. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. We are honored to have many distinguished speakers and guests with us today. Please help me welcome our presiding official, Major General Christopher Ozano, Commander, Air Force Test Center, Edwards Air Force Base. Colonel J. Orson, Commander, 412th Electronic Warfare Group, Edwards Air Force Base. In addition to our distinguished speakers, we also welcome our distinguished guests. Please hold your applause for the end. Major General James Sears, Commander, Air Force Operational Test and Evaluation Center. Major General Charles Orson, Commander, United States Air Warfare Center. Mr. Devin Tate, Director, Headquarters, Test and Evaluation. Brigadier General George Renner, Vice Commander, United States Air Force Warfare Center. Colonel Kevin Jameson, Vice Commander, 5017. Colonel Todd Dyer, Commander, 99th Air Base Center. Colonel Jack Gardner, Vice Commander, 99th Air Base Center. Chief Master Sergeant Ronald Beadle, Command Chief Master Sergeant, Air Force Warfare Training Center. Chief Master Sergeant Emilio Hernandez, Command Chief Master Sergeant, 99th Air Base Center. Mr. Daniel Austin, Technical Director, 412th Wing, and his staff captain. Thank you. Lastly, we welcome group commanders, squadron commanders, directors, division chiefs, our partner organizations, family members, and all of our guests who are in attendance in person and virtually today. This is truly a great day for the Air Force Test Center, the 412th Test Wing, and the Electronic Warfare.
Check. There. Here, let's.
Colonel J. Orson, 412th Electronic Warfare Group Commander, and serving in the capacity as Senior Material Leader. Thank you all for coming here today to celebrate the groundbreaking of the first of 2 Air Force facilities planned to house our Joint Simulation Environment, often called the JSE for short. This is a $480 million investment in state-of-the-art modeling and simulation capabilities by our Air Force. Our Air Force investment builds on the investments already done by our naval warfare brethren at Patuxent River Naval Air Station. The focus of JSE is to build a government-owned, government-operated, immersive, high-fidelity simulation and simulation environment. This simulation will rely on actual operational flight software to allow multiple aircraft to fly and fight in a virtual near-peer environment. JSE initially will focus on our 5th generation aircraft and will soon incorporate other platforms from our current inventories in our Air Force and in our Navy, with the goal of expanding towards those next generation fighter and bomber systems that are going to join us in our near-peer flight. JSE is built on a modular government-owned environment with standard interfaces and open architectures. This will enable rapid development for future platforms that is flexible and can be readily tailored for cost-effective testing and training. The JSE will enable high-end threat replication that can be denser and more real than that we can do in the open air. We will enhance our understanding of the multiple domain fight in ways that physical testing and training cannot achieve. And I love that sound, so awesome to be at Nellis today. The JSE will also provide a way to verify, validate, and accredit those amazing models and simulations that we need to support advanced testing. One second. And obviously, this vision also incorporates our Warfare Center partners so that we can get to high-end tactics and training, which you just heard taken off today. So why are we building the JSE? General Brown posits in his publication, Accelerate, Change, or Lose, air dominance is not an American birthright. Fighter aircraft must especially be able to operate in an increasingly congested and contested near-peer airspace. As most of you probably know, adversaries employ sophisticated air-to-air, ground-to-air weapon systems that threaten to deny our ability to provide air dominance. Our near-peer competitors are also developing novel ways to combat our mission systems at speeds faster than our normal acquisition processes can support. The changing threat is also paired by changes in technology. Computing power continues to be faster and cheaper than ever. Improvements in gaming technology is apparent by the video games that I know my sons play, and I'm sure many of your kids play. Commercial industry is adapting software practices to speed up the time from development to actually fielding. You know, think of all of the phones that we use every day. These technology trends drive to what Dr. Roper recently called that digital reality, where in digital engineering, agile software development, cloud computing, loud planes taking off, and advanced security practices all point to the value of capabilities like the joint simulation environment. But back down to earth from such lofty goals and challenging thoughts. Still get that in a couple seconds. Today, we will break ground on the beginning of a new journey for our Air Force, a foray into the virtual, constructive, high-fidelity joint simulation environment. Right, this is just too nice in the background. This journey is not just plans anymore, but tactical actions, like moving shovels full of dirt that we're going to do across the street here in a few minutes. But given all this, I would be remiss not to acknowledge many of our significant partners that have gotten us to this point. To our warfighting teammates, such as the Air Force Operational Test Center and the Warfare Center here on Nellis, and back in Albuquerque. To our JSE Navy counterparts that are trying to build JSE 1.0 for the JPO, F-35 program office. To our acquisition teammates, from system program offices to Air Force TE, who's out there in virtual land, to the simulation and analysis facility SIMAF teammates that are critical to us developing that hard technical solution to get this joint simulation environment right so it's expandable for the future. My hat's off to all my partners. To our Air Force Civil Engineering Center and the Army Corps of Engineers that are helping us actually get to facilities. And a special thanks to our Quintet Plus, 1+ band members that came all the way here from the Channel Islands Air National Guard Station. Many thanks to you guys. You're making this a great ceremony. I appreciate you for being here. Finally, I would like to thank the men and the women of the 99th Air Base Wing who will host the Air Force Test Center as JSE as a tenant unit. We look forward to a strong and continuing relationship with all of you. Thanks all for being here.
Thank you, Colonel Orson. Now I would like to invite Major General Christopher Ozano to say a few words. Well, good morning, everybody. It's great to see you all here on a beautiful day in Nevada. Chaplain Sampis, thanks for putting in the order for the great weather. And General Corcoran, I know we can always count on you for some world-famous jet noise. So thanks for setting up a perfect environment for what's going to be an extraordinary event today. A historic event, really, when you think about joint test and training, and that's a subject that I know is near and dear to everybody's heart here. I'll tell you, it's always a pleasure to visit Nellis, and I'm honored to see you here, and I want to offer initially just a special thanks to my partners in crime with the Joint Simulation Environment. Already mentioned Major General Corcoran, Air Force Warfare Center Commander, and then Major General Sears, the AFTC Commander. We also have Mr. Devin Cate, Director of Air Force T&E, who I believe is watching this via live stream and is the Senior Acquisition Executive for the Joint Simulation Environment. Really appreciate everything, Shredder, Corky. I know that we're really going to see the fruits of this long after all of us have moved on to something else. But you really are important teammates in all this. And as the PEO for JSE Air Force, I know that you are our customers, and we will always keep that focus, keep that in mind. But more than that, you represent the warfighting community. And so we really appreciate your collaboration and take this mission very seriously. I'd also thank the organizers, a few pylons from Colonel Orson. Obviously, a lot of work went into this by the 412th EWG at Edwards. Nellis Protocol and Public Affairs and the other support from the 99th Air Base Wing. Thank you all very much for making the event a great event. And the Air Force Brass Quintet from the Channel Islands, a great job. I'm looking forward to that drum solo at the end when we're throwing dirt in the air. Chaplain Sampis, thanks again. Lieutenant Wuckner, great job. And anybody else who had a role in this. It's not lost on any of us that Nellis has been in the business of cutting-edge test and training for 80 years. In 1941, Las Vegas bought the land we now know as Nellis Air Force Base for $10 and leased it right back to the U.S. Army Air Corps. They began training B-17 aerial gunners in 1942. Starting in 1953, they began a long legacy of training fighter pilots here. Many of them came and trained in some of the very first fighter aircraft. And then in 1972, Nellis hosted the first red flag training exercise. The addition of the Air Force Test Center Joint Simulation Environment today is a natural extension of Nellis' legacy of test and training innovation. Planning for the Joint Simulation Environment facilities began at Edwards Air Force Base in June of 2017, when the House passed the NDAA for fiscal year 19, establishing MILCON priorities. The Joint Simulation Environment facilities at Nellis and Edwards are at the top of that list. Today, more than 3 years after that first meeting, we stand ready to begin construction on the first of the two facilities. The JSE facility here in Nellis is a $27.5 million project slated for completion in June of 2022. This 52,000 square foot facility will offer state-of-the-art modeling and simulation capabilities to support next generation test and the development of advanced training and tactics. The facility will house up to 20 high-fidelity simulators. It will include mission planning and control rooms for red, blue, and white warfighting teams. And it will include cyber and space operations rooms and a 160-seat observation auditorium. The 412th Electronic Warfare Group will staff the facility with 44 personnel, teaming with 6 from AFTC. The JSE team will be pulled together from a variety of fields. We'll need professionals in operations and security and engineering administration and others. And if that sounds like a recruiting pitch, it is. And we look forward to everybody jumping in there and getting excited about the future of JSE, because it is going to be the backbone for live virtual constructive test and training. The Air Force has committed to this, and its long-term potential is huge in support of future force design, impacting the tactical, operational, and strategic levels of war. JSE will integrate virtual and constructive elements with live open-air test and training, as Colonel Orson pointed out. It will replicate a dense threat environment that just can't be realized today strictly with open-air resources. In short, the JSE is key to the evolution of joint all-domain operations. A lot hinges on JSE, and we are committed to its success. So today marks the culmination of a joint effort between the Warfare Center, AFTC, and the Test Center. And I'm would like to offer some special thanks to folks who were instrumental in getting us to where we are today. From the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, Mr. James Ellsbury and Mr. Mark Porterfield. Tim Morrison from the Air Force Civil Engineering Center, the project manager. Mr. Barry Farron from the 99th Civil Engineering Squadron. From the 412th EWG, Mr. Umberto Blanco, Philip Folson, and Larry Aribio. Ms. Tracy Cobbett, DSC Corporation, Business Advisor, and Paul Holt from Afotech. Thank you all for moving us one step closer to making JSE a foundation for rapid capability development. It's a privilege to be with you here today as we begin a new chapter, accelerating change. Thank you, JSE team. Well done. Now let's grab some shovels and get to work.
Thank you, Major General Ozano. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the official portion of the ceremony. Please join us in singing the Air Force song. After the song is concluded, we invite you to join us across the street at the new JSE facility site for the groundbreaking and photo opportunities. Please stand for the Air Force song.
Look, I get the rod. I get the rod. I'll be over here. I think we're going to do one still with the, how do we hold up the shovels? And let them tell us what we're supposed to do. A good squint picture. Yeah. Right, go, up. Good? How about one with the shovels in the dirt? In the dirt? In the dirt. In the dirt. Alright, so, up. Alright, then one you wanted to throw it in the air, right? You call it. Alright, so, up. Yep.